Christopher Leon Johnson here. Happy Friday to everybody. Happy April 25th, 2023. As you see here, it's raining. It's not raining, but you know what I mean, it looks nasty out. The water's on the ground is all nasty because of the rain from this morning. And the reason I'm doing this video because I'm here to update everybody about a video I made last night. Because I didn't meant to be uploaded because, you know, like I said, I wasn't at Floyd Bennett Field for the rally. I was there for a few minutes. I had to go to cover a fundraiser held by Daniella May, who's running for city council. And the reason I'm right back her because I want a black woman to win. And then I don't want Selvena to be the councilman anymore because she's screwing up on the transportation committee. And people that's against Transalt and against these organizations that have to understand about Selvena Brooks' powers and how powerful she is with that committee, and that oversees organizations like Transalt, because Transalt has a big thing with the city of how what they do and what they does is like law in the city of New York. And Selvena Brooks' powers is for congestion pricing, and she's for bike lanes and the Ebikes screw messery and all that etc. stuff. So I was there to help help out Daniella May, run for city council, and help her fundraiser out. So I was there doing media coverage for a fundraiser, and I really appreciate what I do, and I really appreciate Daniella for having me out there cover a fundraiser, and you know, it was a great time. So I was out there for that, but it doesn't negate the fact that I care about the situation in New York City. I do care. So like I said last night was, you know, Biden needs to close the border. Biden needs to close the border because this is what's the reason that this stuff is happening, because Biden refuses to close the border. You have these guys coming in day by day, hundreds to New York City, and we have to place them somewhere. The law in New York says that it's a right to shelter law. Right to shelter means that you have to place these people that are homeless somewhere. They could deny it, but you have to have the initiation of put them somewhere. You have to place them somewhere. It's crazy. That's a right to shelter law. So the city and the state are in a big jam because you have to place these guys and gals somewhere, and the only place you can place them are in hotels, old apartment buildings, and ain't ways you can put them at. And it's got so desperate where you have to put them in places where they shouldn't be placed at, like by beaches and military bases and camping grounds, and especially places around these kids, because these guys and gals are not vetted. And you don't know, they could be sex offenders, they could be gang members, they could be anything. And we don't know that because they're not vetted. They're not vetted at all. So there's a big concern about this, and I'm concerned about this myself. Like I said, I almost got into a few migrants recently in Queens on the covered event, and I almost got in a crazy brawl with these guys. So I learned the hard way with that. But I'm not here to say that all migrants are bad. I'm not going to say all migrants are bad. Just because guys are with 5 people doesn't mean they're all bad, but it shows a big issue there. You know, none of these guys, they're criminals. None of these guys, they're scumbags, and they have to go. That's the truth. Now, the reason I want to watch the video because what happened last night was I made a video. I saw some photos. I said some things, and I was like, damn, I need to delete the video because, man, I was wrong. But you know, internet works that way. Sometimes once you upload something, it's already up there. People already saw it, so I'm not gonna delete it. I'm not gonna remove the video. I might as well get that last video, download it, and put it on YouTube. I'm not gonna do that. So going forward, the reason I'm gonna talk about this because I said it before last night, and I'm gonna say this again. The only people I give my praise to is State Assembly Member Jaime Williams. The only one I give my praise to is State Assembly Member Jaime Williams because she was the only one out there for the first one, and she was out there last night on the 24th with Curtis Wheeler. Now I give my praise to Joanne Areola and Ina Vernikov because they're there for the second one. And I know they care about this crisis because they really speak about this a lot on their platforms. I really do. But you really have to give the big praises to the one that was really out there, and that was out there today, be exactly, on the 25th, this morning, showing herself out there, seeing how the rain will mess up these will mess these migrants up if this ever be built, and how the rain, the flood will eventually hurt them and kill them. Was a 7-member Jaime Williams who served the 59th district, who serves Mill Basin, Canarsie, and you know, whatever, right? I mean, all the other areas down there, Marine Park, right, and more areas over the 59th district. So, like I said before yesterday, I give my praise to Jaime Williams for what she does. Yesterday she organized a rally. She did logistics for the rally, which was great. She did a speaker lineup for the rally, which is perfect. Now, I want to break down this issue right now because, like I said, I wasn't there yesterday for the rally, but when I saw through an article and the photos I saw the article on City and State, and I saw the article on City and State about the situation about the rally from yesterday, how two of the elected officials pissed off about it because of the language that was used at the rally, and I saw some photos. That's why they deleted the videos in the first place, because I said that Roxanne didn't show up, and I said a lot of things, and I was like, damn, but you know, it was up. And then looking at it forward with the article, I was like, she should never showed up. If she was going to say that stuff to City and State, she should never show up to the rally. Because what she said about the rally was she was pissed off because Curtis and Sid was saying some like so-called anti-immigrant sentiment. First off, the language they're not saying is not really anti-immigrant sentiment. What they're saying was the things that people were saying, majority of the people, let's say about 95% of people that lives in Marine Park, that lives in Mill Basin, that lives in Canarsie, are saying about the migrant crisis. They're not going to tell, Roxanne don't want to hear it. Roxanne Persausd don't want to hear the truth. But that's what a lot of people are saying about the migrant crisis. Majority of people, let's say over 85%, want these migrants to go. They want them out their neighborhoods. They want them out in New York City. They want to go somewhere else. Because this is getting unsustainable. Even Jaime Williams put a statement saying that this is really unsustainable. It's an unsustainable situation. The places you want to place them at are dangerous. They're unlivable. They're unsanitary. The city don't have the money to do this. The city is, especially the mayor's office, are hemorrhaging billions of dollars to do the logistics and to house these guys and to help make these people human, because that's what they are, human beings, just like we are. And everything, it just, you can look at it through a two-way mirror and say this is bullcrap. It's not going to work at all. And the one thing, the reason this is keep on happening in New York City, because of the money. It's all about the money. It's all about the nonprofits, like the Make the Roads, the Vocal New Yorks, the Catholic Charities, the Nice for Workers, the Worker Justice Projects, the NYICs, the Envision Freedom Funds, the Abolish ICE. All these immigrant-based organizations are the reason why that this migrant crisis is happening all over New York City. And that's the reason it's happening. And that's the thing that Roxanne don't want to admit. I know that the Selvena knows what's going on. She's being vocal about it. She's being truthful about it. She's saying things openly and publicly, despite being a Democrat. But the other ones, they don't want to say anything. They just go out there and grandstand and go on stage, act like they care about their community, but they won't care. They really don't care. Because if they care about their community, especially Roxanne Persausd care about our community, really care about our community, instead of being stuck up and being arrogant and always using representatives to be at our events. At the events, she should really be in the flesh and say that she can't be there for a certain reason. And at the same time, try to get these other elected officials in the community she serves in to big her up and say, well, if you don't do this for me, I'm not gonna allocate money for your district. I'm not gonna help you out in your projects, like a lot of officials do. Then maybe she'll understand that this is what a lot of people believe. This is what a lot of people want to happen. Because Jenifer Rajkumar, who was the state senator for the 38th district, tried that same crap at the rally hosted by Joe Ariola and Paul King, and she tried to play all sides of the rally, play all sides of the speech, and they booed her ass out of Howard Beach. They booed her ass out of Howard Beach. After everybody in Howard Beach, what happened with Jenifer Rajkumar, went to Howard Beach and tried to play all sides of the fence. All sides of the fence. At that speech, they booed her ass out of Howard Beach because they didn't want to hear that stuff. These days, it's either you're going to be saying kick these people out, kick them out of America, get them out of New York City, close the border, or don't come to the rally and say anything at all because they don't want to hear it. That's the rules now. That's the rule. If you want to say that we should keep them in and get all the money as possible from the state and the federal and appease Jeffries and pander King Jeffries and defend the guy, then you know what? Find a location in your office, invite the press only, and do your own little rally. But if you want to invite out the public, the New York City public, to your rally about this migrant crisis, this is what you got to say. Close the border, stop funding these nonprofits, and Hakeem Jeffries, you need to stop playing around, close the border, stop playing around, and we need to get these migrants out of New York City. If you're not saying that to the public, nobody want to hear it. They're gonna boo you out. They're gonna boo you out your rally. They're gonna boo you out. And the thing is, it does, like I said, by Curtis Spilla and Sid Rosenberg. Like I said, I don't have my positive things about them. You know, I like Curtis enough, but I mean, there's certain things he needs to start doing better. But at least he's out there. He didn't have to be out there. He's out there focusing every rally now, you know, for the migrant crisis. But the truth is, it doesn't matter if what Curtis and Sid said. Sid and Curtis are saying what majority of people want to hear. They want to hear that stuff. They want to hear that we got to kick these guys out of get them out of the border, get them out of America, get them out of New York City, because they're not doing anything positive for the city. Some of these guys are criminals. None of these guys are sex offenders. None of these guys are gangbangers, and they're here and they don't care. And I'm gonna talk about this situation right now because shout out to Jaime Williams because she reposted my post about the e-bike battery law about Intro 758. Right now, let's talk about that right now. Right. So Intro 758, because this is how to deal with the migrant crisis, right? That's what you understand. Intro 758 will regulate e-bikes, mopeds, and motorcycles, all of them. Now, there's a lot of sentiment online from Transalt, about the bike row lobby, about the e-bikes. Now, the reason they get mad because Transalt is funded by Lyft, Uber, Doordash, and GrubHub. Now, GrubHub, Uber, Doordash, and Lyft rely on the big time quotas to keep on getting paid from the investors. Now, if this happens, the law gets implemented and it gets signed by the mayor, and it happens, what will happen is the numbers of the e-bikes and mopeds and all the stuff like that will be down. Now, the less mopeds, e-bikes, and motorcycles are down, the less quotas that the app's gonna have. Now, with the less money, the apps have, the less money the investment's gonna come in. The less investment money's gonna come in. So of course they're gonna be offended about. Of course they'll be offended about this law being implemented by Bob Holden. And shout out to Sandy Nurse. Shout out to all the council members that are signing on to the bill. Sandy Nurse, Karina Sanchez, Amanda Farias, Kevin Riley, Calvin Yeager, Ina Vernicol, Joanne Ariola. It's a lot of these counts, like 19. And I went there on Tuesday to check Lincoln Russell's office because he needs to sign that bill too. Now going forward, this e-bike bill, and the reason I think what she shared it because this e-bike bill has a lot to do with the crisis. Because you want to know why? Because Make the Rule New York lied yesterday, and all the organizations lied. New York Immigration Coalition and New York Immigration Coalition and all the stuff like they lied at the rally at what's that Battery Park City about the TPS, the temporary working papers, right? Now, They said that, well, these migrants can't work because they don't have their working papers. First off, that's a lie. It's a big lie. First off, these migrants are going to work. If they come in from yesterday, they'll find a way to work regardless. Because Uber and Lyft, I think they give out free mopeds to any new worker. That's why all the mopeds are coming from. They get free mopeds, and then what happens is they're supposed to return it. Now, if they don't return it, Uber could just say we lost the e-bike, and they'll get a payment out of the insurance. So they don't care. They don't give a crap. But what happens is, majority of those guys that works from those migrant shelters are deliveristas. Now, there's a reason, of course, they're not going to say that, because they don't want the truth to be known. They don't want people to know that, yeah, majority of these guys work as deliveristas, and they use those mopeds, e-bikes, and motorcycles to work. And this is what goes on with the e-bike stuff. Now, this is a reason where if people really want this crisis to end, there's a bill you need to help. You need to call your council member on. You need to call your council member and tell them to jump on Intro 758, because this bill will really help mitigate this migrant crisis. Because these guys can't find work, there will be no reason to work here in New York City. No reason to do shop in New York City. That's the point. So we need to have this bill introduced we need to have this bill to the city council, 26 members, to get a hearing. And I think a lot of people need to come up for that day, that hearing, and call the stuff out, because this is getting really just ridiculous with this e-bike stuff. A lot of people get hit by cars, a lot of recklessness with the e-bikes. A lot of recklessness with the e-bikes. And like I said, these nonprofits like Transportation Alternatives are really against this bill. They got mad at me because I went to Lincoln Russell's office and I asked them peacefully, nicely, and respectfully to jump onto the bill. And they got a lot of controversy on the internet. It got a lot of heat. Went to his office personally, and I told him to have him jump on the bill. I didn't curse, I didn't threaten, I didn't scream, I didn't do no reactionary stuff. I just said Lincoln need to jump on the bill because it's going to save a lot of lives. But what's going on is Transalt, they know what's going on. The less e-bikes that's on the street, the less quota Uber Lyft have, and the less Uber Lyft have, they get less money. That means less money for them. It's less money for Transalt with donations. And Doordash and GrubHub and all these other applications that fund Transalt. So what people gotta understand about the e-bike stuff. But majority of those guys that use those e-bikes are undocumented immigrants. And then you have this organization called Love Delivery Unisto. I've been at them a lot. Y'all seen that? Y'all seen them videos? And like I said, with Love Delivery Unistos, they're the de facto voice for the e-bike drivers, and they mad about this too. And I don't care. And like I said before, again, Liga Galapia, she will not tell them that the reason this minimum wage law is bullcrap, because if the minimum wage law happens, majority of those guys are gonna be out of a job, because we know what's gonna happen with the e-bikes, with the Uber, with the apps. They're gonna ask for documentation. They're gonna ask for documentation, I-9s and E-Verify if the minimum wage law implements. And now what do you think what happens if the majority of guys don't have have the worker papers to get the I-9s and E-Verify? They're gonna lose their job. They're gonna get fired. She's not gonna say that. She's gonna say minimum wage is all good with the unions, and the unions don't care about members, because the more members they get, the more dues they get, and the more political power they have. Especially 32BJ. They rely on members. The numbers matter. More members, more dues equals more political power. That's all they care about. So that's about 32BJ. So it's a lot of crap that's going on. Like I said, we need to close the border. You got to close it. It's unsustainable. It's bull crap. Roxanne Persausd should have never said that to city and state. She should have let it rock. It happens. Majority of people in that district are against this stuff. They want the border to be closed. They want Biden to do the right thing. That's all they care about. They want Biden to do the right thing. That's all about 2023. And one more thing is, like I said, shout out to Jaime Williams, because she's the only one out there that's saying the stuff that really needs to be said as a Democrat. She's not a Republican. She's a Democratic person. She's Democrat, and she's saying stuff that needs to be said. And that's all we have to know. And like I said yesterday, Frank Sedio was there. Now people get mad about Frank Sedio. Frank Sedio is a retired cop. He's a retired NYPD officer, and he's a lawyer. So he's a district leader, so he had to be out there. So like I said, it's what it is. You can't get mad. What was said yesterday at the rally, and it's just what it is. Like, we need to close this border. This crisis is not sustainable. It's all about the money. It's all about these nonprofits that's trying to make bank out of stuff, like Make the Road New York, and all these all these nonprofits. That's all it's about. All about these nonprofits making money. All about the nonprofits. So these nonprofits need to step up, and they need to stop that and to say this is unsustainable. This is not going to work out, and they need to close the board, but they won't because they rely on the immigration BS to make some money. They rely on the immigration stuff to make money, and that's all it's about. It's about making money. It's about the dollar bill. So it's all about. So I'm about to log off. I'm about to put this video on YouTube, and take care. Later.